Good morning! It is day 2 of the Heysen Trail. Yesterday was fantastic. A lot of variety. So we started off in a creek bed, and it wasn't actually too bad to walk on, a little bit loose sand, but then we jumped up into various tracks. A couple were very old vehicle tracks, but some of it was single track. And just wound our way down the valley, or up the valley. It was slightly uphill. And then the afternoon was fantastic. It was single trail up in the hills. They had beautiful views looking out, and the track was just absolutely beautiful. It reminded me of the PCT in a lot of places. So we climbed up along the tops and then dropped down and then followed sort of a valley, but it was just wide open, pretty flat. It was gorgeous. So 4 kangaroos, 3 emus, 2 bobtail lizards. And then I stopped just past Middlesite Water Hut. I didn't want to stay there. It wasn't very nice inside. And the camping outside wasn't very nice. And there's no toilets at the huts. Aruna campground had a toilet, and that was the only toilet I saw. So I'd rather go somewhere where people haven't been weeing on the ground all over the place. But yeah, found a nice little spot, pretty sheltered from the wind, and the wind died down during the night as well. The only problem was the heavy dew. Everything is soaked in water. My tent was a bit damp with the condensation from the dew. That's alright, it'll dry out pretty quick. So today, town of Wilpena Pound is in 30 kilometres, so that's the rough target. See how I feel when I get there, have something to eat as you do in towns, and then see if I want to stay there or push on just a little bit past it. So we're in a wide open area at the moment. You can see the hills in the background. We'll get there soon. Not sure where it's 33 kilometres to. If it's in the town, that's a bit further than what I thought. We're following this other trail as well. Heysen Trail or something like that. It's actually pretty chilly this morning. And last night, compared to the previous night where I didn't even have my sleeping bag up over me. Last night I was definitely tucked into my bag, but pretty sure the sun's just coming up now. Pretty sure that's going to heat things up pretty quickly. Kangaroo! Kangaroo number 1. No, the sign is definitely not the distance to town, because it's getting bigger. 35 kilometres. Not sure where they started. I'm seeing another 2 kangaroos separately. Too far away for the camera. So 3 kangaroos. We're on this road and it's relatively flat apart from all the streams. Have to go down and up for each of the big streams and even the little ones. So enough elevation change to keep the leg muscles, different leg muscles, getting a workout, stopping my legs getting too stiff for being on a road. And it's a road, but it's a relatively nice surface to walk on, and because it's so open, there's a lot to look at around me. There's a kangaroo there leading me away from its grown up Joey. He's there. Yeah, it looks like we're heading into some trees. These native pine trees. Nuts on them. Pine trees were lovely, but very short. I think today is going to be a lot of different things. We're going to be in open, and then we go down into tree-filled valleys, back into the open. I think that's going to be it all day. We're following the valley floor all the way, so that's why there's no big ups and downs, just the ones to get to and from the creeks. Saw another kangaroo and Joey I think there's going to be quite a few. If I get to 10, I'm going to stop counting. Oh, after 5 kilometres, the kangaroo was just forming randomly, and between those two trees up there's a kangaroo. After 5 kilometres, I am leaving the road, and looks like we might be on single track. Oh, that's nice. Something different. The road was alright. I am, you know, anything that's not a road is a bonus. Okay, now I just got to figure out where the track is. Oh, yep, there it is. Now I'm on it. So yeah, road wasn't too bad, but single track's always nicer. I got excited too early, so basically not even 50 metres and it just took us across to here, and we're on a road again. Different road, I think. Must be. They wouldn't bother doing a shortcut just for that. So yes, I'm guessing we're on a different road now. We're still with the Heysen Trail, and that detour was just for us, and I'm seeing mountain bike tracks again. So it looks like that was just a little shortcut for us. Okay, I'm up to 10 kangaroos. I'm going to stop counting now. There's lots of kangaroos around here. So far it's only been in twos, single or in twos. Apparently further on there'll be big mobs of them. Those mountains are starting to look closer. These are the only 2 flowers I've been seeing this morning. These ones and these white ones as well. So they're hiding at the moment. Apart from that, and they're not very frequent either, only in low bits where there's a little bit of moisture. Must be coming up to something interesting. There's a gate and I see some signs up there. That's our normal Heysen Trail warning: be experienced. Yanyana track, and we're leaving the Heysen Trail. We're going a different direction and it looks like I'm on a road. Here we go. Wonder how long we're on this road for. That wasn't too bad. It's only about 400 metres on that, and now Yanyana Hut car park. Heading this way. Where's the sign? There's the sign. This is the trail, but I'm just going to go and have a quick look at the hut. What's this? Reconstruction of the horse yards. So this is Yanyana Hut. Talking about the hut used for overnight walkers. Right, let's see what it looks like. Cute! Got a little mattress there, basically tin and tables and a fire for display purposes only, and that's it. And there's a logbook. That's the hut over there. So it looks like we're on single track now. It's a nice bonus. Though from a distance I did see a single track going up a hill. Not so nice if that's us. Yep, I think that's us going up over that hill there. Trail's not very well defined, but these markers do stand out, so you can generally see the next marker. This is pretty impressive view, so I'm going to do half the panorama here and then go to the other side of the hill and do the other half. So the hut is just down in there. We've climbed a fair way. Alright, I'll go up a bit further. Heading down again, so I'll do some more panorama. I see a single track up that next hill. I wonder if that's where we're heading next. Dropping down and then climbing the next one. You can see over there, looks like a tour bus or an overlander bus. It's a Razor Point lookout. I don't mind climbing when you get views like this at the top. It's pretty impressive. Ooh. These are interesting. Neat colour, not quite sure what they are. The groomed paths are gone, we've got nice rocky paths going down. Down, you can see the marker there. It's pretty cool. Here's Follow Creek. It's an interesting tree. So creek's widened out a bit, so it's alternating between rocky areas and sandy areas, but the travel is actually not too bad going through here. Probably down to 2.5 km an hour on average. Almost like a road. It's like we're heading away from the riverbed. That was quite fun. Right, yeah, we're climbing up. These are new. This is nice. Amongst the trees. Not that they give a huge amount of shade, but at least there is a little bit. So dropping down, crossing the stream we were following, it looks like we're heading in a straight line now, completely leaving the stream. That stream was a nice surprise. It's actually flowing. It was, yeah, I mean, it disappears right here, but it was good. Oh, look at these neat trees. Okay, so heading this way. Little climb, but I think up onto relative flat once we're up on that climb. And we are joining the Wilpena circuit. So I wonder if this will take us all the way through to the Wilpena campground. I'm guessing it will. Let's have a look. B7. Oop. It's always the wrong way. Okay. B7. Heysen Trail. And Wilpena. Oh, we got the markers again. Every 200 metres. Oh, look down there. Look at that cactus. Oh, that's cool. Down in a stream bed. Pretty patch with all the purple flowers here and the beautiful hill mountains in the distance. Gorgeous. It's not flat. There's downs and ups, but plenty to distract myself. Hey, there's white birds flying. Cockatoo. White cockatoo. Just an update on my tendon issue. Right at the start of the day, I felt it a little bit. I was probably going too fast on those roads, so I slowed right down, and it's been fine. Yeah, since then, after about 4k, it stopped hurting at all, and yeah, it's been fine. The rest of the body, feeling great. Not even tight calves like I normally get. Of course, I do have to remember it's not a new trail, it's just a 4-day break in between trails, so body's still pretty well adjusted. Leaving the road onto single track. Another big climb, but so worth it. Gorgeous. And the junction up here. Bunyaroo viewpoints, only 200 metres, so why not? There's 200 metres of steep climbing, but I was hoping they would have what I'm looking at, and I do. That's why I wanted to come up here. St Mary's Peak. It is 1171 metres and it's 7k. And then that is called Sawtooth Range and it's around 1000 metres. And then that little one there, that is Mount Abrupt, 861 metres. And then that one there is Mount Sinnet, 721 metres. Then we've got a Mount Rupert somewhere over there, way in the far distance. That's Hayward's Bluff, and that's what I was walking along yesterday. Oh wow, gorgeous, definitely worth the extra climb. And I am at 498 metres. Not far off the high point of the Wilpena. These are new. Back on the trail, and I'm assuming I have some downhill lift to go. But gently dropping on the side of the hill. More of this trail, it's quite neat. Still gently dropping down on the side of the hill. It's been lovely. And we're down the hill, we're into creek bed for a while. Wow, following along beside the creek bed. This is the fancy trail the Heysens joined for a little bit. So it's not Heysen standard, it's fancy standard. I'm wrong, we dropped down and we are actually in the creek bed now. Just saw 2 day hikers. Had to look at the watch and it's a Saturday. So yeah, get a few day hikers on this trail. Be a fun day hike. The geo site, talking about these rocks. Grey still signs, sometimes reddish, and the result of fine sediments laid down in the deep water earlier than the ABC range core ties. 620 million years ago. This formation therefore underlies the core ties. Slabs and blocks are characteristic of this rock further along the track and may display ripple marks. Alright, cool. So you got this dark rock, and then in the river it's the lighter rock as well. Next, I'm assuming because it's here, it's talking about this rock, is Wilpena sandstone. 700 million years ago, huge rivers flowing from the west laid down sands which gave rise to the ABC range core ties seen ahead. The coarse purplish sands in these boulders are river deposits laid down on top of exposed ABC range core ties sand flats. In places, this layer is 30 metres thick, but only 2 metres here. Okay, cool. So, yeah, pretty sure I'm talking about this stuff. This is where we leave the Wilpena circuit. They head that way, and we're heading up there, but I'm just going to go see what the sign is. So, entering the habitat of the yellow-footed rock wallaby. So, it is an endangered species and a protected species. Adelaide Zoo has kept them since 1883 and has been breeding them, and they plan to reduce captive bred populations back into here. And why is it endangered? People and foxes and competition, rabbit, sheep, goats. And here's a little bit of information about them. Pouched mammal, non-slip soles in the hind feet. Spend the day in rock caves, come out at morning and dusk. So I'll have to be up early or hiking late. There's the Heysen Trail again. Right. On a road for a bit. Maybe a road, but pretty impressive mountains up ahead to look at. And surrounded by hills on the 2 sides as well. Here's a little weeny flowers. My lunch spot, nice size log. Now back onto the road and back to it. Still got about 15.5 kilometres to Wilpena. Look at that. It's an echidna all wrapped up. Isn't that cool? balled up again. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the spines on it. Just really interesting. Alright, I'll leave it alone. I hope you all appreciate how excruciating it was to stand still waiting for it to uncurl and to move while the flies were just all over me. So I hope you like those pictures because I sacrificed to get them. Oh, it was fantastic. That was really neat to see. Oh wow, got to see it balled up, got to see it come out, walk around, eat a bit. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. How's it day 2? Seems to be that I see echidnas on day 2 of the walks. Oh, that was great. I actually heard that echidna before I saw it. As it went into its little ball, there's a light clacking sound as all the quills meshed together, and that's what made me look in that direction and see it. So if it just sat there and froze, I may not have even seen it. Quite fortunate that cloud covering the sun every now and again provides some nice relief because there's not a lot of shade on this track. Getting closer to these mountains, we're going to turn around and follow along the base of them till the end, and then we cut across to the next range of mountains. Just came across the first bike packer. I went right to the side to give them the option where to go because they were going uphill on a slightly rougher bit. Not like this beautiful smooth bit right here. Wilpena pound. Doesn't say how far. That way. A few flowers by the road. There's these pink ones, which are pretty cool. Just for size comparison. There's my finger. They're pretty small. And then we've got these blue ones. Once again, there's my finger. Nice and green under those trees. Looks like lovely camping. It's not grass, it's these sorts of things. But from a distance it looks nice. In contrast from the forest with the green, then you go into this open, looks almost volcanic, and it's this loose chip. But it's all the way across. Looks quite pretty from up close. The lone gum tree hung amongst all the pines. It's quite pretty with all the flowers. There's actually water here. To do a water crossing. I was looking at this box. Is it a bird box? Or they shoved a camera in there. I think it's a bird box. Who knows? Anyway, water crossing. And steeple. It's a pretty campground. This is Wilpena campground. So I've done 4K. Picked up the speed quite a bit while I'm walking, and that's a toilet block if you needed to go. Okay, so that means I only have 7 kilometres to get to town. So my cut-off for the shops shutting is 6. I thought I'd be there in about 5:30, but been on this road for so long, picked up the pace. See, there's another of those boxes. It's the 3rd one I've seen now. Oh, and that's gorgeous. Look at all the purple flowers. Wow. Gorgeous. Right. Yes, so I shall make it well in time for the shop shutting. It's not just one area. Oh, look at that. I think that's Mount Mary. Not 100%. I think it is though. Yeah, those fields are just so extensive. I haven't seen anywhere that was just so many of these purple flowers, and then coming over here as well. Oh, cool. Some albino flowers. So on the very same plant you've got the normal colour and then some white ones. It's all one plant. It really stood out, that white amongst all the purples. I thought this was a new insect, but it's an ant carrying a flower petal. It's done a pretty good job. 15 minutes later and there is still flowers everywhere. Sawtooth range. So I am off. 4 people, all on e-bikes. It's quite easy when you don't have to pedal. Apparently they came from that direction and they've just saw the signs that says you're not meant to be that way, but there was no sign at the other end. It's the old Wilpena homestead that way, but Heysen Trail this way, it's probably about 5k. I haven't checked the GPS. Oh, is this a sign? No, it just says Heysen Trail. Alright, anyway, this way. Looks like a massive water trough for stock as they come through. Alright, on single track now. It's been shared with the mountain bike trail, the Heysen Trail. So it's going to be wide and not too rough. But yeah, it's nice. Change from the road. Pretty wide single track. It's been nice, just through the little weeny pines. We've got another range and we are walking towards that one now. We've left the other range behind. And guess who I'm with now?
We've all made it this far.
So we're going to walk together the last 2k to get into town and have some food.
And I'm super excited. I saw cars. There are cars there.
Yes.
Cars mean road, cars mean like campground.
Campground means food.
Yes.
Hadn't seen any emus today, but there you go. There's a few. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 more further over. Heaps of them. They're quite far away, so that's why they're not reacting to me. Oh, it's gorgeous. These pretty purple flowers that I've been going on about, apparently they're a weed called Salvation Jane, which is incredibly difficult to get rid of. So they're pretty, but they're a weed. Right, so we're not going that way, that's the old way, we're following the new sticker, so straight through the campground. And we have arrived! Woohoo! Civilization and food. This is Wilpena Pound, and there is the IGA, really well stocked IGA. I grabbed some food and something for dinner tonight, sat down there for a while and now heading back on the trail. So there it is from the bottom, IGA, and leaving the town. It is 20 past 4, so I had a decent amount of time there. I arrived at 3:30, so nearly an hour, but it was worth it. So I'm just going to walk for an hour and then find somewhere to pitch my tent. No point going to the campground, paying the money. The restaurant you have to book in. So I have got some sandwiches and a donut and an apple, and that will be my dinner. Cute little crossing. And a whole lot of walks this way as well. Just a couple of walks going in this direction. And the next water source is 27 kilometres away. So I've got a pretty full load of water. There's possibly a little water point that's been set up by some trail angels, but it's not guaranteed, so I'm assuming I won't have anything. And the good thing is, because I have a store-bought dinner, sandwiches, donut and apple, I won't need to use water for dinner, which will conserve the water a bit more. Ooh, golden webs. I encountered those at my first time in Australia, running through the trees and suddenly surrounded by massive webs. It was pretty freaky for a New Zealander not used to spiders. Lots of information here. Talk about walking safely. We started up off the map, came here, came around and around to Trezoa campground, Middle Site Hut, and I camped just past that. And then today I've come past Yanyana Hut, around and all the way down here to Wilpena and heading out this way. Ikara, this is the Ikara Flinders Ranges National Park we've been going through, and so it's a little bit of information. Ooh. Talking about the Dunnarts, shelter and breed among flood debris coming out to feed at night. Quite neat, these information signs. This ant seems like it doesn't have a middle body, it's just head and bum. About the goats had unrestricted access, but now because of the rock wallabies being endangered, they have been hunting them. 100,000 culled in the last 15 years, but there are still lots of them there, constantly hearing the goats how to cook them. This is quite a busy track. Every couple of minutes there's people walking by. It's feel funny being in my full hiking get up and these guys are just out for not even a day hike, no backpacks or anything. Look at all the damage that's done in there from the floods that obviously go racing through. Pretty impressive. And there's this beautiful orange rock face right above me. Not sure if it can be seen through the trees. Goats. A flock of goats. Lots of babies. Not a concern about the people around. Absolutely no worries at all. And another herd of goats in there. Oh, jeez. I'm surprised there's so many around here. Puddle to go around. Ooh, I need my poles for balance. It's a pond. What's this going to talk about? About the frogs. Alright, so walkers follow track. So I'm assuming that way, because there's two tracks on the sign, so I'm assuming it's straight ahead. There's a big climb to get out of the river valley. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Still a number of trails that we're following. Dropping down a stone staircase. Look at that, that is interesting. We get a bridge. There's a little bit of water left. Just make out a building through there. That is Hills Homestead. Built in 1888. And just a little bit about people who lived there. So a stockman named William Chase found a way into the pound back in 1851. Wilpena is the Aboriginal name that the early settlers called it the pound because it was just like an enclosure. Natural towering walls, permanent water supply and only one entrance. It was the perfect place to hold stock. And then this is from the Indigenous point of view. Obviously it was many conflicts because it was their land. Eventually they started working on the stations, and this is an interesting one. So that's why there's so many ruins. There's a drought in the 1860s which basically put a lot of people out of their farms. Nice area. I'm going to be on the flat, relative flat, for the next 4 odd K. So I'm pretty sure I won't have a trouble trying to find somewhere to put my tent. After that is a very steep hill, so I want to camp before the steep hill. I like how these information boards are giving the European perspective and also giving the Indigenous people's perspective. And life was pretty bad for the Indigenous. When the Europeans fenced off the land, suddenly they couldn't have their food anymore. They ended up working on the stations, but were not treated well. They could get a dog tag, which is a license to live in the white man's world. It allowed them some basic rights as well. So that's the cottage. And it's like an old boiler. And leaving. Oh, there's another one. You guys aren't afraid of people, are you? Very used to people. Probably nearly 5k from the town, and I'm seeing people that are not looking very fit, but apparently there's a shuttle bus, and so they're able to come out further than they normally would. Alright, so we're leaving most of the touristy people and heading this way. I'm actually feeling really good. My feet were sore when I got to Wilpena Pound, but having that little rest with I put them up on the other chair, and that seemed to have helped. So they're actually feeling pretty good at the moment, and energy levels are good. More kangaroos. Another one lying down beside it. There, Echidna. Just in there. It's balled up. I was too loud. There's a whole lot of them in there. So that's 3 of them all in there. Hello. Did I wake you? Isn't it gorgeous? Real cute. Walking through these, it sort of takes the gloss off it, knowing that these are actually a weed, and it makes it very sad because they are everywhere. White butterfly. It's interesting, it never sits still. The wings are constantly going. Oh, I say that and it sat still. Alright, I think I'm going to stop here because this looks quite nice here. I'm on a rise, so I'm above, I can see it dips down over there, and softer grass here in the middle of trees, so less condensation. There's quite a few rocks though. So it's just finding a nice place without too many rocks. So the trails are that way, probably about 50 metres, and I found a lovely area, one little spot without many rocks, and so tents all set up and basically drying out from the dew this morning. So I gave it a quick wipe, and that'll only take about 5 minutes, and that will dry out enough to start getting everything in it. And there are no flies, there are no mosquitoes, so yeah, enjoying it. That's what it looks like inside. So my foot poles, I just give a little bit of extra room at the head and the foot. Right. So I'm going to sit and have my chicken salad sandwich, donut and apple, which is dinner. Sitting eating dinner. There's a kangaroo and a joey with it. It's probably 40 metres from where I'm sitting, but because I'm just sitting quietly eating dinner, they don't seem too concerned about me.